got a nice little group of folks sitting in here with us tonight. Hello, happy Tuesday. Good evening, everybody. Let's see, I got like major technical issues going on tonight. Bear with me. Welcome to Free Thinkers Tuesday night. We do this live every Tuesday. Welcome to Free Thinkers. We've got a great conversation going on tonight. Where can you find us? How do you join? If you go to the Facebook Free Thinkers group page, you will definitely see pinned at the top an event for tonight, and it's got all the information for how to join into the conversation. You do need to click on the StreamYard link, and it will bring you directly into our conversation live. If you're not interested in doing the live conversation, then you can certainly watch us and comment in the chat section. And whether you're watching us on YouTube or watching us on Facebook, the comments that you post will be on our live feed, so we definitely will cover those. Like to try to talk about them when we can. So a couple different ways that you can join the conversation tonight. But if you're looking for the StreamYard link, it is always going to be pinned at the top of the Free Thinkers page. Every Tuesday, the link changes, so you have to get a new one. Adult content, of course, so totally up to you who you decide to let listen to our conversations. But we do definitely have adult topics and adult languages used. So be mindful of that. And follow us on both of our pages. We've got our YouTube channel, of course, that shows all of our videos. And then we've got our Facebook page that is where we have all of our conversations. So in a conversation like tonight, this is where our topics come from tonight, is posts that are posted to our Facebook Free Thinkers group page. So if you're interested in some of those conversation pieces, you can go over to the Facebook page, scroll it, and a lot of those are things we're talking about tonight. So that's where we talk 24/7. It's not just videos. We have conversations all day, every day. Feel free to post, share all of those things on the Facebook page. And as always, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you for jumping in here. Thank you for committing your time on Tuesday. So thank you for being a part of this conversation. We love this. We do this every Tuesday. We might have 2 Tuesdays a year where we don't have a meeting. So we love engaging. We love talking. We love growing. You can help us with that by also hitting the share button. So please, if you're watching, hit the share button. Anyways, I think that's all of the stuff I probably need to cover as fast as I could. Q, you got anything you want to add while I make sure that I am in places I'm supposed to be?
No, that's good. Let's get it cracking.
Okay, let's go. What's up, John A? Thanks for coming tonight. Swift, you in there? I see you in there. Thanks for coming tonight.
I'm in here.
Hey. If you get a chance, put your video on so we can see you. I mean, if you can't right now, that's cool. But if you get an opportunity to, do so we can see your face. And if you're anybody who's listening, if you want to join the conversation late, that's fine. You can just catch yourself up. If you do that, you do not have to be here the entire time. If that's too long, that's okay. We do have some topics that we are going to cover. They were on our page. I think we got 4 of them that we picked out. So Q, where do you want to start first? I don't know if you were able to get caught up before we started today with all the conversations on all of those topics, but they were good conversations that were being had on the page.
Yeah, I think I got all of it pretty much. So wherever you want to start, then I'm good with it.
Well, let's start with the boyfriend not gay thing, because that was one of the ones we were going to talk about, I think, last week. And we didn't get to any of the topics except for lying last week, which was a great show, by the way. If you didn't see that, go watch it. But the boyfriend who was feminine but wasn't gay, and then ironically his girlfriend was, she said she identified as masculine, but she has never dated, I think, men other than him. So this is a picture of the boyfriend and the girlfriend. The boyfriend's on the left and the girlfriend's on the right. There's a video of them kind of discussing their relationship and just kind of what that looks like. And it just made for some interesting viewpoints, I guess. So we can start with that one. You saw the video, I would imagine.
Wait, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, that's all I need to make sure. I don't have no words for this.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, I've
did?
seen this multiple times, and I don't have any words for this.
Because why?
Oh my God, this is too much. That's why it's too much for me. I'm sorry. I love all my LGBTQ, whatever other letters I'm missing. I love them all. I'm a part of them. I'm one of them. But this is too much. And whatever they got going on, more power to them. If that's what
Right.
they feel, definitely support. But it's one of those things that you see and you're just like, okay, next. Like you just can't take it in because it's just too much.
Are you, and this may be, I don't know, this is a nice question. Are you tired of seeing it?
No, that's
Okay.
I've
Okay.
never seen that. There's no way I could be tired of seeing it. I've never seen
It's
that.
like I've never seen that.
Just been
You've never
coming
seen
out,
that because why? Because generally the man who acts like that is gay.
No, I've seen like a guy where one is feminine and one is not, or I've seen like, where they transgender and like, they want to date their same sex or their opposite sex. Like I've seen different stuff like that, but
Okay.
this particular situation I've never seen. So that was, yeah. So it was just like, you never seen it. You can't really judge it. You got to support it and keep it moving. So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because I've never seen that before, but I took it in.
Swift, did
I'm
you
wondering why
get a chance to
people
see
think
the
it would be
video?
too much, though.
Say that again?
I said I'm wondering why people would think that that's too much.
No,
That's why I was like,
that's
what
going
part
on-
is too much? Like, what part
No,
makes it too much?
everything
I'm
that's going
curious.
on right now, and I say that personally, everything that's going on, like news and trying to pay attention to everything that's going on right now, seeing that wasn't something that I had time to be like, oh, I'm gonna sit here and I couldn't. I just saw it and I was like, okay, and kept it moving because I was like, no, there's too much going on right now that I can't be. There's just too much, y'all. Like seriously, every time I come on my news feed, there's a viral video or something else happened. I can't keep up.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, it's a little muffly, but we can hear you.
Okay, listen. I have not seen it, but in just looking at the picture, we always say it's somebody for everybody, right?
True.
If that everybody ain't you, how does it matter?
Facts.
And I don't disagree with that in theory. I do not.
Because, I mean, for example, and we've all seen this, you see a really, really fit guy with a very full-figured woman. You'd be like, how'd that happen? Or you see a lot of women give her judgment like, how'd she get him? Or vice versa. You might see a very, very attractive woman and a guy that's not so attractive. And people be like, how'd that happen? But at the end of the day, it happened. And obviously they ain't checking for you because they ain't with you.
That's how I see that.
And then it makes the most sense too, because a lot of guys are not attracted to the more masculine females, and a lot of feminine females are not attracted to feminine males. So it would make sense that they would like you said, it's somebody for everybody out there. So and then that's the other thing I'm wondering, like, why anybody who would be offended by that, like, okay, did you want them? I mean, really, even though in all honesty, more masculine females, that never bothered me. I kind of like the tomboy basketball player type female. That was always like that anyway. But yeah, I think I got my thought out.
I don't know what I think about it. It doesn't matter. Like Swift said, it doesn't matter, right? Because it doesn't matter. And I'm totally fine with however and whoever people want to love, right? As long as it's consenting and it's adult. Like anything past that, I don't care. That's totally fine. It just is. It was interesting. It was. I don't know. I mean, the definition of gay would obviously, or because they were talking about him, the definition would obviously be a man that has, sexual intercourse or romantic relations or, sexual interest, or I don't know, I could be fucking this up completely. You feel free to correct me, but in somebody of the same sex. So it would be a man who engages in intimate relationships with another man. And whether they pose as masculine or feminine, genuinely or generally, you see a very feminine man, and he's this man is beyond metro, in my opinion. I mean, he is exceptionally
Oh
feminine.
yeah, he way
He's more
past
feminine
Metro.
than some women are feminine, or maybe
He
feminine is the
10
wrong
steps
word.
past Metro.
Yeah, like it's way past metro. Like I
He act
don't
like
know. I guess
a
to me, this entered
traditional what
another
it looks like
dynamic
how
into
you would think a gay man act and a feminine gay man would act. That's anybody else that you saw, you would be like, oh yeah, he's definitely gay.
right. Yeah, I guess it just enters into the conversation, just another type of love dynamic. Apparently, it was interesting. I watched it a couple times because she had never been with a man. Like she was gay. Like that was her. She was no question. So then for him to not be gay but be super feminine and interesting. Just I guess the dynamics in which, like I said, love happens is far greater than just man and woman in the traditional sense, I guess.
Definitely can tell.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Hey. All right. So any other thoughts? Any other plays on that one?
Yes,
That was
I
quick.
have one more. No, it wasn't. I still got side questions to that. So then my question becomes, when I think about society, what are we really attracted to? Like, are we just attracted to an opposite sex, or are we attracted to a masculinity or a femininity? Like, so you have a man right there telling you, I'm a straight male, not ugly, straight male, but because of his traits and characteristics and his mannerisms, for most straight women, that would be like, nah, that's a no-go for me.
Right.
For even it's less for the girl, but even some guys would be like, she's a little too dudeish for me. Not as many would be turned off toward the girl because she's a nice looking girl as they would the guy. But then my question becomes, what do we need to redefine how we are attracted to people? Is it just I'm attracted to men? If you were attracted to men, why wouldn't you be attracted to that man? If you are attracted to women, why wouldn't you be? So are we overlooking the masculine, feminine part of things, even though that doesn't automatically equate to gay, straight, lesbian, etc.? Or have straight people even explored that? Like, what are you attracted to about a man or a woman?
Oh, I explored that, but from a straight person's perspective, I don't know.
I mean, because it got to be something like, okay, so let me ask you, when you saw the guy, he said he was straight, right?
Yeah.
So would you be attracted to someone like that?
I'm not gonna say I wouldn't.
I
only
will.
because I am attracted to like somebody's personality, and I'm attracted to like who they are and like their drive and like other things. I'm not just attracted to the sex of the person. So no, I wouldn't say I probably wouldn't like him. I'm definitely not gonna say that because no, I'm not gonna lie. That's how I feel.
Okay. And Nikki, you was like, nah, that'd be a no.
No, I'm not attracted to what I feel is a overtly feminine man. I wouldn't be. I not romantically. I wouldn't be interested. No. And he's a man, so I'm supposed to be attracted to a man, but that wouldn't be attractive to me.
So is there a realization to say that I'm not just attracted to straight men, but it's also there has to be levels of masculinity that men possess as well that add to my attraction?
Absolutely. And that kind of goes along with one of the posts we're going to talk about a little bit later, just the masculine feminine thing. But definitely, I mean, there's a definition for masculinity. I think that the word has been abused like crazy, the last couple of years. But yeah, and that's what I said. He's not a masculine man, but he's a very feminine man, and that just wouldn't be appealing to me.
Oh, I got a question.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
so look, projecting toward the future. If you saw if this became a trend to where after all of the criticism that men received over years and years and decades of saying they talked about this toxic masculinity, and then they just went after masculinity as a whole, and then the new popular thing was for men to start being more metro, which that was a thing for a second, and then it goes past metro and goes to effeminate. Do you feel like, hey, maybe we better back up off of how we're wanting men to do we want to let men be have a little bit of mannishness to them, or are you trying to have all of that gone but still, like, are they still going to be manly if you take away the little edge and some of the little things that you don't like about men? If you take that away, then that could be what you end up with.
Very true.
I mean, if you have a list of things that fall under masculinity, and socially and culturally and, you know, wherever else you want to go with this, we start to cross those things off that list. We've bled the lines, I guess, per se. Like, you're going to lose. You're going to lose the masculine attachment that generally comes with the male being. Yes.
I think that when we start talking about toxic masculinity and toxic femininity, we also have to look at the times in which we've come from, in the sense that, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. Prince. A lot of dudes said that Prince was gay. A lot of chicks said Prince was gay. But the same chicks that said that Prince was gay also said that he was so fine. They also said he was so desirable. They also said that guys would be like, oh yeah, he on that other way, but he's still your girl.
Yeah, that's what saved Prince, because he always had a fine one on his arm. If Prince didn't have vanity and Apollonia and all if he had them fine ones on his arm all the time, then yeah, that'd be a little different. But it's hard to argue with that. Like, he doing something right if he pulling everybody's fantasy.
But then what do you say about the fashion of that era? For example, if you look at rock bands, for example, right?
I think they get put in their own category though.
But their attire, their wear was still very feminine, very.
They still got put in their own category.
Makeup and hair and earrings and short shorts and
made for them though.
Cleavage was being shown. Like, how you got man boobs? Like, what, you got all the way unbuttoned to the belly button?
But those same people, like, if I tried to wear the same thing Prince was wearing on the street, then it's just certain people. Certain people can get away with stuff that other people can't.
But doesn't that come down to your confidence?
A little bit. A little bit.
One thing that I do know for men and women is that confidence is sexy. Period.
It is true. That is true.
You can see some dudes rock something. If a regular dude that wasn't that confident about it, it looks different. But for somebody that rocks that with confidence,
that is true.
That thing that we look at and we judge is the very same thing that people look at and they're attracted to, just because it's the confidence of it, especially for people that don't have a preference about which sex they are attracted to or that they attract.
Yeah, it's a dynamic to it. I definitely agree with you. I just don't know how applicable it is in all situations. So even I'm thinking about that, like, okay, say I could be the most confident person in the world and I wear, purple tights with my ass out and stuff like that. Now, me doing this in the hood where I grew up at. See, now even your confidence is going to be tested, because you could be as confident as you want to with the women, but if dudes test you and be like, dude, put your ass away, nigga, if I knock you out or something, you know, and then
that ain't about
now, if you going around knocking people, but what I'm saying is you take a lot of L's in the street, then that messes with your confidence.
Yeah, listen, I know a lot of soft dudes that swing for the other team that'll knock your ass out.
Oh yeah, I know that too. But that's what I'm saying. That's another element where people will back up off of it. There's different levels. There's different ways to be confident. You can be confident in your dress, but you can be confident in how you carry yourself too. And see, confidence is only goes as far as how far you can back it up. I can be confident as I want to, but if I can't back it up, then it's false bravado. Then you lose all of that.
Mm-hmm. But it's
I'm just saying it's a dynamic to it.
It's only false bravado when you say back it up. When you're talking about, there's a difference between a way that you carry yourself and your confidence versus somebody testing your physicality. And that don't have nothing to do with confidence. Confidence, if somebody feel like they can try you, they're going to try you. Period.
Yeah. Oh, that's I know what you mean, but if you take too many L's, then not only are you can have all the confidence you want to, but now see, it's not just your confidence, but a woman has to have confidence in you as well.
Mm-hmm. No.
And if you going around getting slapped around all the time, then now ain't no woman got no confidence in you. Your confidence don't mean nothing after you took too many L's.
I don't know about that.
Is that confidence or a lack of respect though? People just slapping you around.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. You walk around with the purple pants and your ass cheeks out, then that's certain. You're inviting something. Are you able to handle what you're inviting?
If you take a million L's, is that gonna mean you're gonna stop dressing different because that's how you feel? Some people are willing to die on that hill.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I ain't see enough real life examples of people who did that to the point to where they took all the L's and still was pulling like that. See, because now you just standing and you confident, but if you ain't pulling nobody, then what's your confidence for?
I went to a performing arts high school, so I seen the gamut of it all. And when you go to a performing arts high school, I'll give you an example. I was a vocal music major, tech theater major, instrumental music major. But in the city, if you were a guy back in the day, and you said you went to a performing arts school, they automatically assumed you was a gay dancer. And because of that assumption, you got tested just because of what they thought about where you went. And a lot of dudes took L's because they didn't come with that respect. And they got their ass knocked out. Period.
Okay. So tell me the rest of the story though. So were these same dudes that was taking these L's getting knocked out? They ain't had no problem pulling women in them same areas they was getting knocked out at?
Not at all, because if you meet a chick and she don't know your past, you don't know what L's you took.
Oh, see, so maybe you from a larger city. The city where I'm from, yeah, you take an L, everybody gonna know you took that L.
Yeah, so, see, I'm from a metropolis of a city.
Okay. That could be a little different.
He said, "My town, everybody knows.
Everybody gonna know you took that L.
you only gonna get so many of those. You only gonna get so many of those. Sometimes
I knock your ass out like Johnny did the other day, and then it's like it's getting no.
Yeah, but what you gonna do when you hear that, nigga? I ain't Johnny. Do something.
Yeah, and then you gotta
be ready.
Tough world out there. That's what I'm saying. You don't want to invite that to yourself all the time, but.
Yeah, but I'm with the 50 Cent. I'm with the 50 Cent ideology. It's not that I'm scared of conflict. I just don't run from it when it comes. That's a big difference.
Yeah, I agree. I also learned I don't. There's a difference between not being scared of it and inviting it. Also, certain things you don't want to do and invite conflict because. Unless you is that dude and you the hardest one out of everybody, then you ain't trying to go at people like that all the time. And it's only one or two of them out there in any given area. But,
Right.
Okay, Nikki, we can keep rolling, Nikki. That was good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was interesting. I guess the one thing I appreciate out of it, whether it's weird to me or not, or I get it or not, I'm trying to figure it out or not, is that, you know, love is love, and I agree with you, Swift, in the very beginning. Like, who cares, right? Like, it's not my business, right? They're happy there is somebody for everybody, so I appreciate that out of that. What do you want to jump to next? The LGBTQ in Dahmer. So the Dahmer show came out, and assuming all y'all know the storyline about Jeffrey Dahmer. I guess last week, because we were going to talk about it last Tuesday, so the weekend before, I guess Netflix had removed the LGBTQ hashtag from the promotion of the Dahmer show because there was mad outrage from the LGBTQ community that they were associating Dahmer and LGBTQ in the same, in the same sentiment. So, what is your first thoughts if you heard about this? If you read about it, if you've already talked about it, what was your first thoughts when you heard about this? Did you know about this? Had you heard about this?
I heard it from you, and I agreed. I understood. I'm like,
you did. You said
if
that.
I was a part of that community, I wouldn't want.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want them associating Jeffrey Dahmer with my community either.
Please don't.
Even that with LGBTQ in general. That's a serial.
But here's the thing: like, if that's what he was, regardless of if he was crazy or not, who gets to choose about who gets the decision of who's in the club and who ain't? Who's the gatekeeper for that?
The people who spoke out against it.
Yeah, but these are the same people that spoke out against Dave Chappelle after he told the story about a transgender comic that he actually helped.
But they didn't They didn't put the tag on that though. They didn't put no tag on that though.
I was like, I didn't agree with that, but.
No, there probably wasn't an LGBTQ tag on the Dave Chappelle No, I'm pretty sure.
And why would you put a tag on that? Like, okay, so if you're LGBTQ, then you'll probably like this. Like, no.
Yeah.
Is he not? What? No. Not is he? Was he not a threat? He was gay. He preyed on the gay community. He took advantage of gay men. And then he went as far as definitely made sure that he plotted and planned and schemed against especially gay black men and men of color, gay men of color. So he's a threat to the community. He's a fucking threat to the community.
He's not. He's dead. He's dead. He's not.
And now there's a serial killer on the loose in California because they put this fucking movie out.
Always serial killers.
Because they put this show out, I think they needed to be responsible and at least show the insights to a serial killer cannibal. What he thinks, how he preys upon people, how he gets his victim.
Somebody to literally take that and repeat it. That's crazy. What is wrong with America?
No. See, I can't go with that.
I hate this so much.
No, I don't think that's the case.
I didn't even know nothing about no California or whatever, but that now I understand why they might have put a tag on there with the whole situation with that, but no, not with the Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, tell Jeffrey Dahmer's whatever his name, tell his story and let that be what it is. If he was gay, let us find that out, but don't put a tag on it that says for everybody else. Like, and
then on the cool little cynical part of me also, you know how white men are. They try to find different ways to disassociate themselves from, oh no, he wasn't one of us. He's one of y'all.
Like, thank you.
He was a white man, but no, he LGBTQ. We don't want to take any responsibility for that. We already got enough serial killers out there that speak up for us.
To me, it follows the same narrative of America, is that if it's not presented like that's the hero, then they want to sweep it under the rug. When in all actuality, he was a gay guy that preyed on gay men. Period. Period. So
no, not period. First of all, he was a white man. Before he was a gay man, before you knew he was gay,
right,
you knew he was a white man.
Right.
Well,
So how
I
come
remember
that can't be the leading story?
Why can't it just be his story? Why it gotta be like
because he
LGBT?
because who he
Everybody
picked
trying
up
to pass
on.
them off.
In
on
all reality, he was
somebody.
okay, and in reality he was gay. So why did they just put the gay part? Like put the gay stamp on there. You just put all the LG, everybody. You just throw us all in a little group, put us all in the same.
I don't know. I come from a prevention standpoint, and I feel like and I understand what Kasha said when she said that everybody tries to add something to the LGBTQ community. Like I get that, or they try to use the hashtag or whatever. But like,
Including that community itself.
that's true too. That's true too. Damn, I just lost my train of thought.
if you're fighting for inclusion of stories, then you have to tell all the stories. Period.
You
But
have to tell all the stories.
just because you tell all the story, that don't mean that you lead with certain things. So just like I was watching Woman King. I was watching Woman King, and oh my God, that's a good movie. That's a great movie. You gotta watch that. That's a really good movie. But on one of the intros, one of the opening movies, they're coming out with a Whitney Houston movie, and I was thoroughly upset with that because one of her friends has been put out in interviews that Whitney Houston had a lover even before Bobby Brown, and Whitney Houston was gay, but she just tried to live up to the traditional. So I don't know if y'all saw that before, but now it seems like in this movie they're going to try to show that part of her life, and I think that's totally inappropriate because when she was alive, she wasn't willing to show or expose that part of her life. So why would you lead with her being lesbian or whatever you want to call it in her biopic when in her own life she chose not to lead with that? I thought it was just totally inappropriate.
That's them exploiting her for money. Literally, that's them because that's completely irrelevant to. That's completely. It doesn't mean that if that's who she was that's irrelevant. But them telling this story is exploiting her. I feel like at that, which is not what I think was happening with Dahmer in the use of the word LGBTQ. I don't think that was exploiting the word LGBTQ. Go ahead, DK. I'm sorry, you were going to say something.
With the Whitney Houston trailer, is that what they leading with that?
I'm not sure, but that's what it looked like they were leading to. It looked like they were putting a healthy dose of that area of her life in there.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and look at that because I didn't pick that up.
I picked it up, and maybe I picked it up because I recently saw the interview the interview of her friend not long before that.
But that's been the controversy forever. This is not like this is something that's new. And then when you're talking about exploitation, when a person's not telling their own story and they're not even here to tell their story, if it's Whitney Houston and anybody else, and they're doing it for money, ain't that exploitation anyway?
Yeah. That's what I said. Yep.
Yeah, but sometimes when you're doing something that's supposed to be non-fictional, I just think that's low to try to attach your agenda before her wishes. She didn't wish for that to be spoken of or exposed.
She told it before she died.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
If she wanted her story to be told, she would have told that story before she passed, or at least been in work.
She didn't tell that story. She didn't tell the story. Her friend told the story.
You can't stop.
So now, because her friend had this relationship, and this isn't the first time that this has been talked about, because if you look at the Bobby Brown story, it was covered in that. So it's not like it's taboo and forbidden and nobody knew about it. It's already been out there. The story's been told. It's been book read about it. It's been interviews from her friend. So I think that it's just people wanting to try to preserve her name, but the truth is true.
So let me ask, and let me even go to you, Janae. Would it be fair to bring someone out of the closet when they themselves hadn't chose to come out the closet?
No.
Definitely not. They're just like telling somebody's secret that they didn't give you permission to tell. That's just plain and simple. You just don't do it. And I'm like, let this lady rest. If anything, you know, put some pictures together of like stuff we didn't see. But we don't want to hear no more stories from y'all and what y'all talking about. Like, I don't really care about that. I want to see like the happy times. Like, I don't.
And
I'm
if
not.
people got their own story to it, like the woman who told the story, that's part of her life.
Yeah,
She's
your
telling her own
perspective side.
story.
Yeah.
But when you're making a movie or a biopic about
Yeah,
somebody,
that's money. All
and you're
that.
trying to show the highlights of this person's life, that's foul to me. I just think
Yeah,
that's foul.
yeah.
Exploitation at its finest. It's not the same.
Why is it just the highlights of their life? When we telling a story, once again, I call this Americanism. You only want to tell the part of the story that is great, not the whole story. Think about how long it took.
Well, when I say highlights, I'm talking about just the things that stand out, and that could be good, bad, and everything in between. Just
come on, man, the things that stand out. Everybody still make Whitney Houston crackhead jokes. Let's just keep it 100.
Very true.
Okay. I still don't know where you're going with that, though.
Well, this is where I'm going with that. If the story is to be told, tell the whole story, not just the parts that shows the best light, because she had already put a negative light on herself, and admittedly, even to her demise. So if you're going to tell the story, tell all the story. When they told the New Edition story, they told about their drug addictions that nobody knew about till that movie came out. Everybody talked about how wild Bobby was, but nobody talked about Ricky Bell and his drug addiction.
They talk about that some in there too.
But that's what I'm saying. Until the New Edition story came out, they was the squeaky clean good guys and Bobby was the bad boy, which is not the full story.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I disagree with that aspect of it, though. That's all. I mean, you know, I get what you're saying. I just agree to disagree. Especially on somebody's first biopic. That's
Right. It's her first one too. And then it's not a stain on her name type of situation. It's not,
because it's not even a negative thing.
No, it's just that, I mean, what's the purpose? What's the purpose?
Has to make
the story.
Go ahead, DK.
Make money.
DK, what were you saying, sir?
There's no debate about that. It's all to make money, or else it wouldn't be a movie.
It has to make money at the end of the day. So they have to make it juicy.
Y'all don't think the Whitney Houston story can make money without turning it into LGBTQ story?
If it wasn't about the gay thing, it'd be about her drug addiction, because that is what drove people to the tragedy of her story.
I think that's just a piece of it.
I agree, DK. It's a piece of it, but it's part of the story.
That's a piece of it. That may not even be a quarter of the movie, but that will be a piece of it.
You might be right. But we'll see. I got a feeling that it is. Based on the trailer I looked at, I got a feeling it is. Could be wrong though.
Well, I mean, how many movie trailers have you seen where you're like, man, it's gonna be good, and you get to the theater like, this is some bullshit.
Right. They showed all the good parts of the trailer.
That Tupac movie. A Tupac movie was trash.
I give you another example, right? What's love got to do with it? Right? Because of the movie, what's love got to do with it? Ike Turner will never be remembered for the true architect of the music and his contribution to American music. He will always be known as the dude that beat Tina Turner and raped her in the movie, in which she came out herself and said that didn't happen. They consider Little Richard as the father of rock and roll. But in the same sentence, in the same mention, what they don't say is that the sound was Ike Turner because it was his band. Period.
With that movie, I think Lawrence Fishburne played Ike Turner better than Ike Turner played Ike Turner.
He made it believable.
How could you say that and you don't know Ike Turner?
But shit, did the man not do a great job being Ike Turner?
Excellent job, but I'm playing Ike Turner better than Ike Turner. I can't go for that. Look at Denzel. Denzel played a better role than Frank Lucas played Frank Lucas.
Now that's true. I seen both of them, and Denzel was a better Franklin. Maybe that's authentic, but he was better.
Nobody could ever tell my story about me better than me. Period.
I disagree. Maybe you personally, but I think there's definitely
they don't know the story from my perspective. They only got other people's perspective of my life.
That don't mean that they can't tell the story better than you. There's some natural orators and people who communicate for a living who actually could tell your story better than I'm not saying you, but could tell a story about a person better than that person could themselves.
If you wasn't there and you don't know, you can't tell my story better than that. Period. And I go for
okay. Well, I think this is the theme. I'm gonna agree to disagree. There's a lot of people who have their own story, but they're not good at talking, explaining, and the art of. There's an art to storytelling.
Art to storytelling.
And there's a lot of people, and I could tell somebody, "Hey, tell me about yourself," and they be like, "No." And I could ask their friend next to them, "Tell me about them," and they can, if they're natural communicators, then they can tell the story about that person better than they can tell it themselves. That's all I'm saying.
I definitely agree with that. Celebrities that have books out, they're not the ones writing the books. They just talking.
Right.
Writing the damn book.
Mm-hmm.
So this veered off from the Jeffrey Dahmer thing. So
well, I remember what my train of thought was when I was talking about. I mentioned Kasha and why I felt like, being from the prevention side to this, right? So like this movie going out, this movie having a hashtag of LGBTQ, it raising awareness in the gay community that this is a predator that exists in all communities, but certainly this is a certain type of predator with a certain type of prey that he seeks. It's like the equivalent to me having conversations about date rape, drugs, and being out in a club, and certain people to look for, and certain scenarios to be mindful of when you're out in social settings, when you're out in the party environment, just certain things to be mindful of and cautious of to protect your fucking self, to possibly prevent, certain things from happening. There's certain steps that you have to take. So watching that docuseries and learning about some of the ways in which he preyed upon people and how easy it is to take advantage of vulnerable fucking people, it certainly could have been used as a learning opportunity to learn that these people are out here, and this is all relationships. This predator's out there, period. But specifically, he was targeting gay men. Specifically, he killed and murdered and ate gay men. Specifically, so them putting that out there and highlighting that little snippet, and the whole fucking movie wasn't anything about derogatory really about LGBTQ community. It was more about how fucked up the police were and their perspective of how they treated gay people and still probably continue to treat gay people.
Can they put a police stamp on it?
Huh?
Can they put the police stamp on it? Whoever
they should have fucked the police on the hashtag too. Shit, yeah. Fuck them. But to be outraged that it needed to be removed, I mean, I can understand why one may feel like the association wasn't relevant, but I know why I felt like it was, and I didn't think there's anything wrong with that. I think awareness is important. I think knowledge is important. I think, unfortunately, maybe some of those men had no fucking clue what to look for. Maybe had they known what to look for, they'd have known that this ain't don't go home with this dude. Look, this dude is saying weird things. He's got weird offers. Like, it's just weird energy. Like, it's just too many weird fucking things to bypass. Like, now I bet you everybody knows how many jokes are coming out now about, if a white dude's staring at you too long, if a white dude offers you too much beer, but like now there's a whole bunch of jokes coming out about what kind of white man shit to look for when it comes to Dahmer type shit. That who knows? So
that's a serial killer issue and not a gay issue.
It is when he's gay and he kills and attacks and eats gay men. That's like a predator. That's like a predator preying on children, or a predator preying exclusively on, let's say, pregnant women, or a predator preying on a certain demographic, a type of person. It was very specific. Gay. It was very specific.
I'm just hey, don't hashtag.
I understand why somebody may not like that. I get that. It's not a good connotation, but sometimes good shit ain't just what it is. There was nothing good about that. That's just what it was.
I think the whole
I feel like
LGBT.
Are we okay? DK, Jean A, Mr. Swift, the DC sniper. Are we okay if they do a movie on Netflix and then they put that under the Black Lives Matter hashtag?
Oh,
But were all of his victims gay or black people though?
No, but he was a black sniper who was
But
going around shooting people all through this.
see
he
that
didn't have a specific target. I mean,
I won't lie. If they put Black Lives Matter under that,
bro, that was the worst.
it did have nothing to do with that. He wasn't just random ass killing black people only. He was just it was Philadelphia mattered or whatever the fuck trunk he was in.
He was black, like he was black, and Drop Jeffrey whatever was gay. Like
I also think that they put tag on there because it dealt with gay. I feel like that tag was put there because it dealt with homosexual situations.
Now let's keep it 100. They put that tag on there to make some money off that shit.
I mean, I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to deny that too.
it's all it was there. So the LGBT said, don't try to put this in argument.
Okay, let me go here then.
How
We don't know.
relevant-
We
Look at
don't
how
know for
relevant
sure
they've
about the
become.
DC sniper, but Wayne Williams, he was the serial killer taking all the black girls in Atlanta and killing all of them. If they hashtag that story and put Black Lives Matter on that, are we cool with that too?
What if they said black girls matter? Because they do. He was
what if they
killing,
said,
he was
no,
killing,
what if
he
no,
was
no, no,
exclusively
no,
killing black
don't
girls.
change my question. Don't change my question. If they put Black Lives Matter on the Wayne Williams Atlanta serial killer thing, and are we cool with that?
Nope.
You know why they doing it though, to make money. They get you a
DK, are you cool with that? If they put the Black Lives Matter hashtag
No, don't be no.
on the Atlanta serial killer.
I don't know anything about him, but the DC sniper should have taken.
He was a black man who was taking little kids, primarily little black girls, and they was disappearing, and he killed about 20 something, between 20 and 40 black girls in the Atlanta area in the early, I think it was the early 1980s, late 70s or 80s. Something.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be upset.
Here's the thing about that though.
I don't know anything.
As they're doing more research into that, a lot of people believe that he wasn't the one that was killing all them kids and that it was racially motivated.
I saw the story. Let me ask you the question though. Mr. Swift, are you going to be okay with the hashtag Black Lives Matter and they put that story under that and it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, I think he dropped off for a second. He'll be back.
With you because I don't know the story and I seen this shit on Netflix, I would skip it. So I would.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that.
I would skip it.
And even what you saying, then, is it okay for Nikki? Is it okay for them to use Jeffrey Dahmer, since you said he was taking gay black men and tricking them and killing them? If we put the Black Lives Matter hashtag on that, is that cool? You cool with that?
I mean, Black lives do matter. However, I think it would be more relevant if it said something like, black men matter or black gay men. I mean, if you're going to keep it relevant, keep it fucking relevant.
Don't change the slogan. Don't change the slogan. I don't need nothing else matters.
Keep it relevant. Keep
We're
it
not
relevant.
changing slogans. I don't care how valuable. I don't want to change no more slogans.
This is
keep it relevant. You got to understand the power of a hashtag, though. Besides I'm sorry, DK. I swear to God, I'll let you go next. the power of a hashtag, though, aside from obviously the attention that it garners, that's its purpose. Like, yeah, of course, there's going to be some monetary, hope, monetary, gain hoped, by attaching hashtags to things. But when you click a hashtag, you find a gazillion different bits of information related to the words in the hashtag. So it is a source of information. It is a way to spread specific information. Okay, no, sorry, go ahead, DK.
This is not a civil rights movie. Why the fuck would they put Black Lives Matter on this shit? Black men, black anything matters on this shit. It has nothing to do with helping our people. Why the fuck tag this shit?
Thank you.
That's true. That's true too.
That's my whole thing. If y'all not gonna make a story about each one of these individual people and their lives that they lived, and then put Black Lives Matter or something like that, then we don't want to talk. We don't stamp our stuff on there without our approval. No, ma'am.
Right. Tell the story about the victim, maybe,
That's what I thought this was. It was partially, apparently, I did not watch it because I don't think that that's okay to do stuff like that with the stories. But apparently, people were saying they told a little bit about the victims' lives and then, the police or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. They need to tell a different story. But I'm tired of hearing from the killer's perspective. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to hear it from his perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I know the story, but I don't care to watch it. But
Right.
I don't care to watch it at all.
It's one of those, it's very questionable with this too, because it seems to be written in a way where you almost want to feel, they want you to feel bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to see how poorly of a family he came from and just how bad he had it. It was weird. And then when I learned that the families, at least those that they used in the movie, they didn't know that Netflix was doing this. And so quite a few of the family members were fucking pissed that Netflix was making this documentary or whatever, this movie, because they didn't get a heads up. They didn't know. So like they didn't know until everybody else knew. They didn't have time to prepare. They weren't ready for their names to be dragged back into the fucking press. And that would lead you to believe they're obviously not getting any money off of the.
And you need to pay me my dollars because you put my son, daughter, whoever name in that and especially without their approval, like that's messed up.
They don't need your approval to do a biopic.
They don't.
That'd be messed up. You get some racks off your serial killer.
I would have to fight that because you didn't know. No.
That's why Ice Cube and Drake with the NWA biopic out there before anyone else could. Because you don't get any coins off that shit.
Oh, wow. Damn.
That's real sad. Like, you just going to put my child's death in everybody's for entertainment. Because some people are like, oh, I like watching that kind of stuff. No.
And then didn't tell all the stories completely properly. So they didn't do justice to a lot of the families, at least the names that they did mention. They didn't do justice to what actually took place, And then some people felt a type of way because they felt like they were putting too much emphasis on the police. And I was like, no, they need to see just how they fuck this up. How the police treat people, how they look at people, especially populations that they don't think are important populations. Like there was a lot of things in the movie that were interesting, but it was pretty sad. It was really interesting. It just kind of made me realize how old I am to come across people who this was their first time hearing about Jeffrey Dahmer.
I don't even think I'm gonna watch that either.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
You're not missing anything.
And there's something about the when they turn that type of stuff into a movie and they dramatize it and then they try to tell I've seen documentaries on it. I might stick more to the documentaries or the straight court cases about it. But when they try to turn people into, I don't know, it could be a leading thing. I just don't think I'm gonna watch it.
I'm just hoping that Netflix is not becoming like money hungry and they're out.
Of course they are. They're in competition. You see Hulu and Amazon and all them. They gotta keep up.
They got movies, but I mean, like Netflix is different.
They don't got live TV like Hulu.
Yeah,
I don't need live TV. I just need to be able to turn my movie, fast forward when I want to fast forward, and I know commercials. Like I love my Netflix, but
Netflix knows what people likes. Netflix knows what people want to watch.
Netflix knew HBO was dropping that House of Dragons. They had to put somebody there.
Got to keep up with
Dragons. What is that?
Yeah.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Keep up. Yeah. It's football season. People watching football live on Hulu now, and yeah. It's a lot of
competition. Cake football live on Hulu. What?
Yeah. Live TV.
It's football on Amazon Prime. They got to keep up.
Damn, that's crazy.
It is too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
I haven't had cable in so long, but it's a trip to hear about that because you used to still have to have like a cable package to get any kind of football or sports channel outside of 24, 36, 42. Fox.
That's why I'm not even sure if I'd go back to my old job because it's I don't know. That's a hard sell now.
Yeah,
well, I used to work for Spectrum. I sold cable TV, internet, and it's like Don't nobody want it or even feel like
No.
they need it now. That's a
No.
hard sell now. I'm like, I don't, and that was just 3-4 years ago I worked there. I'm like, I don't even know if I do that now.
Well, I
It's-
just got the way they had the shit set up is cable is like $20. It's like $20. You
Yeah,
pay
you had them boxes in.
Mhm.
well,
Taxes
if you
then
have
turn.
an apartment, you don't even get the damn box. All that shit is tied to the TV.
Oh wow.
Oh, so you just got the streaming spectrum.
And they don't even come out and hook your shit up. You just go to the Spectrum store, pick your shit,
Yeah, you do.
install your own.
Oh yeah. They was doing that. Yeah, you install your own
You
now.
gotta
Yeah.
follow
We ain't coming out.
Yep.
Everybody coming out, you install your own shit.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, what's next? What we got next? We in good time, Nikki. We might get through all 4 of these.
Got the post I posted today got a lot of attention about the masculine men and the weak men. Let me go over here. I don't know if either of y'all saw that on my page, but I posted this earlier today.
I
And
disagree.
on my personal page, I think we had like 60 something.
It
15 or
sounds
20
good, but it's
comments.
just not true.
But it is.
It's not true.
There are parts to it that definitely are. So weak men create masculine women.
What's
and
a
strong-
masculine woman? Let's define that. What's a masculine woman? Before
Okay.
you get into this.
What's a masculine? Weak men create masculine women. Masculine women, she's tough. She's tough. She has a lot of roles in her that a man generally would play.
Not masculine though. Come on. With the
I'm sure they're referring to non-submissive women as well.
Masculine, not in the aspect of she has a penis masculine, but masculine is,
that like what's about it?
What'd you say?
What's masculine about her?
She's become the hunter. She's become the gatherer. She's become the protector. She's filled the roles that generally in society the masculine one holds. So if you have a weak man, so he lacks confidence, he is inferior, he is insecure, he is he wants to be dominant, but he's not. When you have a man who has those particular traits, he generally acts certain types of way because of the inferiority and the insuperiority and the insecurity. So he may be aggressive, he may be a bully, he may be abusive, he checks out. And so when you're with somebody who's like that, you have to pick up the slack, per se. So it grows this woman who now has to be tough, and she has to be a fucking soldier. She has to be tough. She has to be rough. She has to handle things that generally would be in his lap to take care of. If he's not emotionally available, if he's not spiritually available, sexually available, physically available, she has to fill these roles. Is she masculine by build? Maybe not. Is she masculine by what's between her legs? No. But she carries the traits of what her man should be providing in their dynamic, assuming you check off that you want traditional relationship roles in your relationship. If you want this whole modern stuff, cool, that's all on you. Then this meme probably doesn't apply. But if you believe in traditional roles of men and women, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, yin and yang, that's what that's how I break down that first part of that.
And I think that's completely incorrect.
I'm in agreement with you, brother. I don't. All that you named sounds like a woman that had a child by ain't shit nigga, and she's looking for a nigga to pick up the slack, but he ain't.
And maybe she has, but I don't understand how any of what I just said is not an actual factual thing that takes place.
Because
does that not take place? And
no,
but it does.
Nah.
If you have a woman who's telling you it does, and you read a majority of the women's responses on both of those places, just about every woman agreed. And oddly enough, there was only a handful.
It just sounds good, but it's not true.
Oddly enough, there was a strange handful of y'all that disagreed, and there was quite a few men that agreed, and they understood what the point was being said.
I just think if that woman had or did not have a man, she's still gonna have those same responsibilities.
But the statement was a weak man. What was the damn thing?
Put it up again. Put it up again.
Because I don't want to use the wrong word. I don't want to say grow. I don't want to say. I was like, weak men create masculine women, whereas strong men create feminine women.
False.
No, you're feminine before you meet a man.
And there are additional traits that you carry as a woman that you bring to a man when he's a man. Every man doesn't get the same femininity out of a woman.
That's true.
Every man does not get the same femininity out of a woman. If you bring a woman nothing, she gives you nothing. If you bring a woman something, she's gonna multiply. Mm-hmm. So yes, you were feminine before you got there as he was masculine, but do men not challenge women to be better and grow? Do women not challenge men to be better and grow? Absolutely we do. Otherwise, why the fuck are we doing this? So you can become more, you can become less of something, but in a relationship, you're generally going to become more of something if your partner is less of something.
I think that statement would be better if said a strong man creates a submissive woman versus this feminine woman shit. I don't get the feminine and masculine woman. Those two adjectives I think they should be replaced with something else.
Understood.
It made perfect sense to those who read it. So let
me get this straight. You feel that any woman that you meet that's more masculine, it came about by that personality, those traits and characteristics were created by their exposure to a weak man.
I can't say that with 100% certainty, but I can say that a majority of women who do have those masculine traits, who have those types of qualities in them, generally had that type of dude. Generally had a man in their life that absolutely was that.
That makes the statement incorrect in its absolution. Let's get that part out the way first. So the statement is what I'm saying. The statement is not absolute.
What the quote is not absolute?
Yes, meaning you just said if you can't say that for sure, then all women.
Well, because I can't speak for every woman who you would identify as masculine, but I can definitely speak as a woman who has masculine traits. I can definitely speak for women who absolutely have masculine traits who hold the fuck down out of a fort.
And I can speak.
Those are generally derived because you've had to accommodate, you've had to pick up the slack, you've had to survive, you've had to find a way to make it, you've had to do this. Those generally
that's where I agree more with DK on that. That's you doing what you have to do. That don't make you masculine.
Yeah, that just make you independent.
Right, but there are certain things that if a man lacks and he's in a relationship with a woman, she's going to have to pick up those. She's going to have to pick those things up. If your man is insecure, if your man is inferior, if your man doesn't have any confidence, all of those things.
No, Nikki, that's wrong, Nikki. Let me tell you this. Somebody,
it's all good.
A woman who's, I know, you come back and tell me why I'm wrong in a second. That's fine. No, what this is what in most cases I experience. Women who are more masculine in the sense of what you're talking about, take charge, have more of the alpha male type traits where they want to be more in control of the relationship and dictate how things go, so forth like that. They choose weaker men to be with because it won't work for them to have a domineering personality. It won't work with another man who has alpha type qualities and he's also has a domineering type of personality. It's gonna bump and collide. So people specifically pick someone who's going to allow them to play that role.
Yeah, some people do. Some people are shitty like that.
And I guess to the severity of what you're talking about, I think that's more often the case of
Yeah,
why
I
it
mean,
seems that way than not. It's
if
not
you are
one
of the
creating the
user
other, though.
mentality, yeah, if you are of the user mentality, you're gonna prey upon people like that to benefit you. Like that's
I don't even call that a user mentality,
it
though.
is, because if you're trying to find somebody who's of the weaker, that makes you a predator and they're
It's
prey.
not, but it's weak in the way that we're using it for this illustration. But it doesn't mean a feminine woman is not a weak woman.
No,
You know
a
what I'm
feminine
saying?
woman's not a weak woman. No.
Okay, so a
A
strong man
feminine
who would
woman is
choose
a
a feminine
very
woman, that
strong
doesn't.
woman.
Okay, so again, a masculine man who chooses a feminine woman, he's not choosing her because she's weak.
Right.
Because she's feminine.
Right.
I mean, he's choosing her because in most cases they see that this person is a good counterpart for them.
Right.
They will balance them out, and I see it in business, I see it in music, I see it in so many different things. People look for it's hard a lot of times for two people who are both headstrong to get anywhere. You got to have someone who kind of fits in what you miss, and then they fit in the parts that you kind of miss. But that don't make one person weak. It don't make one person masculine, and it doesn't mean that one person created that identity in the other person. You may just gravitate towards someone who you have a better fit with. And usually a dominant person often fits better, not just in relationships, but they fit better with someone who's willing to take more of a back seat.
There's a difference in being dominant versus being weak. Those are not the same thing. You can still be a dominant person. A dominant person. A dominant person.
That the post itself was kind of off, even the way it labeled that, and I agree with that.
The label.
Yeah, I was like, what's masculine, dominant? Like, what can I know the differences? Because I'm like, what is this whole masculine? Like, what is the definition? So I can know.
What's a masculine woman?
She's a tough woman. She has to do things that a lot of women don't have to do because their man or men handle those things. They do all the coordination. They're the CEO of the house, or the CEO of him. They're the CEO of all of the family business. If you have a man who is insecure, you may have somebody who you can't communicate with well, you can't reason with well, you can't find compromise with well. I mean, there's a million other characteristics that fall along those lines that then makes her have to do everything.
So the statement itself was proposed incorrectly, because they propose it as if the opposite of masculine is weak, and those are not. That's not the opposite, the left to the right. It's not.
When I hear masculine woman, I don't hear that she's all this independent stuff on her. No, I hear that she has traits of a man.
And and see, in the way that they put one statement against the other, it alludes to, if you're not masculine, then you're weak, and if you are weak, then you're not masculine. And especially when you're talking about a male-female dynamic, it's just an incorrect way to propose that statement. Yeah. It's just they should have used, weak men create masculine women, strong men create feminine women. Let me take this in again.
Yeah, the masculine and feminine part is throwing me.
So so let me go back on this. Now I'm looking at it again. So basically, all of the onus in this statement, all of the onus is on the man. So if you're a weak man, you're going to create a masculine woman, meaning, and they're trying to say, if you're a weak man, you're going to create a woman who is, like Nikki is saying, is forced to take the lead and forced to basically run what they call masculine duties, running the house, making sure stuff getting taken care of, this and this and this.
But let me ask you this: are those more independent duties, or is that a masculinity traits?
Well, you know what? Let me before I even go to that, I'm trying to take in whether I agree with the terminology that they use. Now I'm trying to take in the spirit of what's being said, or the overall theme of what they're trying to say. And if you're saying when a man is weaker, then you create a woman who you create a woman that has to take over, take charge, and do a lot of things that are considered non-feminine when they say, you know, the woman doing it all, this and this and this. And
This
that.
is why I mentioned the hunter, the gatherer, the protector, the provider. If he's unable to fill those roles as a man,
okay.
the
So
hunter, the gatherer, and
back
she's doing all of the hunting, the gathering, and we're not talking about going out and shooting fucking animals. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm backing up. So the essence, even though I disagree with some of the terminology, the essence of what it's saying, I think there's a lot of truth to it.
But this is so goddamn open. I mean, is this married?
I disagree with the word create. I don't think they should have said create.
It's
Especially
a
for
word
technical
that take issue
people
with.
like that.
I understand that, and
Right.
I think that
But me
people
getting
felt some
past
type of way. Like
instead of me trying to get
create.
too technical with it, if I'm trying to catch the essence of what's being said, I think there's a lot of truth to that statement.
Yeah, there's so many question marks around this for me. Like, nah, I'm good on this one, Nikki.
What's your question mark?
Okay,
so then to the second part to the statement: strong men create feminine women.
No, I'm talking about just over the overall statement. There's just a lot of questions like, who is this woman? I need to know.
She could be. She could be most of the women that you know. She's most of the women that you know. That's who she is.
Every woman. Every woman.
But all of that, like all of these questions, it's I mean, it's relevant if you want to get a backstory, right? But it's not relevant if you're trying to really understand. If you're trying to understand a male and female dynamic, and right now this whole feminine woman thing has been thrown around a lot, just like, you know, we threw the fuck around toxic masculinity. Now people are throwing around this feminine women thing. Like, so the point to strong men creating feminine women is that there's a space that is created for a woman to be able, like you said, to be submissive.
But even if she's taking care of business, she's doing everything the man should be doing, that don't make that woman less feminine. That don't make her masculine.
No, she may not be less. She's not going to be any less feminine because she's having to do all the damn things.
And even if she's
she's a different woman when she's with a strong man.
Right. And I
she's
get
a whole different woman with a strong man.
So even if I disagree with masculine, the term make a weak man creates a masculine woman. Even if I disagree with the term, I understand it from the perception. Like, so even how people perceive, oh, she masculine, or she's real take charge. Like, even if that's not the case, I understand how people view women who feel like they have to take charge, because if I don't do it, then it won't get done and I got to do everything. So like I said, if I pay attention to the essence of what's being said, then yeah, I mostly agree with that.
So is it fair if I actually meet a masculine woman? Is it fair for me to say, oh shit, she must have a weak man? Is it a fair assessment?
Shit, it's very possible. It's very possible. Or she done dealt with some simps. That's very possible.
And then,
I bet you, if you go down my page and you read them comments, you'll see.
And see, yeah, I gotta compartmentalize that too.
And I think DK, I think that shows. I think that men who know what to look for can tell. I think it becomes obvious after a while.
So let me rephrase it for you, DK. Maybe because you might, the terminology may mess you up. Simple. If you a soft man and you ain't on your job, you force your woman to step up in the areas that you fail to step up in. If you handle your business, you allow your woman to take a step back and not have to handle your duties the way that they feel that they need to, because you're not handling it. Now they can be themselves without trying to play their role and your role at the same time. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
I think that's the essence of what this post is trying to say.
Who typed this shit?
Somebody on the internet. Shit. Somebody on the internet. I know free
thinkers, we get real technical and every word means something. So I
saw it and I loved it. I saw it and I posted it, and it was so interesting who responded, how they responded. I was like, ooh, this is a social experiment. I'm taking this to free thinkers.
Somebody smoked a blunt and was like, nigga, guess.
It took a second for me to catch the tone of it.
And that's why I asked the men who had commented on my personal page, how did you read this? And like, why did you say yes? Why did you like this? And one of my friends had replied back, and he's like, he goes, you learn a lot as you get older, what works and what doesn't work. He's like, but it's basically a man not taking care of his business and his woman having to pick up the slack.
Gotta step up because he ain't taking care of his business.
Versus being the man and doing what the man is supposed to do, and her, like you said, being able to take back, and you get a totally different woman from that woman. You get a very different woman from a woman who is safe in a strong man's presence.
Not always. We'll say that.
Not always, but it's definitely.
Then she got problems.
Not always.
Right? What's his address?
Okay, Nikki, we got like about 10 minutes. You want to get this last one in?
Yeah, the OnlyFans lady, because we were going to talk about her last week.
Oh.
So there was a teacher in, I don't remember what state she was in, but it wasn't Texas. There was a teacher, and she had been a teacher for many years. She was struggling, single mom, had like buku side gigs over the years, and just obviously cost of living is going up everywhere. And she's like, I am just not fucking making it. So she learns that a friend of hers or somebody that she knew had made like $10,000 in a month on OnlyFans.
What?
And so she has a conversation at work with a colleague. And mind you, she's a teacher. So her and a colleague and her boss is having a conversation about side gigs. And she asked if sex work was something that she could do because she's a teacher. And her boss, she said her boss immediately gets excited and goes into like, absolutely, that's legit. You could sell your panties online if that's what you wanted to. And those were literally the words that he used. So when he says to her, you can sell your panties online, she was like, well, bet. So she goes and creates this OnlyFans page. Apparently somebody sees the page, of course. A blogger gets a hold of it, contacts the school to let the school know that she's got a page. Like the page opened in June, it was shut down and she was fired before June was over.
What did it matter?
Hold on.
Somebody on there from the school peeping, like,
how did the page get shut down? She doing a whole bunch of lying. How the page get shut down?
I'm sorry. I should not say her page got shut down. She was fired. So I shouldn't say her page because I don't know about the page, but she started her page at the beginning of June and she was fired by the end of June. But it was because a parent or somebody saw the OnlyFans page, contacted like this local blogger, so he then took pictures. He blocked out like the parts of her body that were, boobs and butt and whatever. He blocked out, her private parts and sent this shit to the school and let them know that she's got an OnlyFans page. And of course the school is saying it's against their policy to be, spreading inappropriate images and so on and so forth.
The kids think, oh my God, I hate
so people. First of all, that's why I think she doing a lot of lying up in here.
I don't know.
So. You talking about, I talked to the principal and he said it was good. First of all, anybody in corporate.
Well, she said boss. I don't know how boss works, but boss and
exactly. A school. But regardless of boss, and white people know this better than anybody. It took me a while to learn this stuff. You don't listen to what nobody say. You just go to the book. That's it. All you do is go to the book.
What did she sign? What did her policy
What's
say?
the rules and regulations? What's the policies?
You got anything to do with OnlyFans and sex work, ma'am? Are you having sex on there, or what's going on?
Them OnlyFans, she might have been doing something.
I'm like, what's going on?
Or she might not have been doing anything. She might have literally just been showing her body. She might have had foot fetish. She might have been
whatever it was. Y'all didn't put in the OnlyFans policy, so
Nikki, I seen her page. She busted.
Did she? Was she? Even though, how was that any different? And this is what she said. How is this any different than any other single woman?
But again, if that school policy, the contract she signed, say she's not to do anything explicit online, blah blah blah. She gonna have to show proof.
If she just asked her. I do not believe that she didn't check the policies and procedures. I don't believe it.
Well, she having sex is what I want to know. You saying she was having sex?
bust that pussy open and she
Well,
tip.
Man, tell
disclose-
what happened.
It
He's
didn't
saying
disclose
nothing.
in the article, but I didn't go to her page. But
I
not
He's saying,
even
he's saying
even
that.
even. And again, I get it, right? I get it. If the policy said ABC, it doesn't matter if it's legal in the state. It doesn't matter if it's legal where you live. If the policy says you can't do this, if your PMP, if your contract says you can't do this, and I get that. I get that.
Is she in California?
No, it was like no, it wasn't California. It was
I
don't
trust
remember
nobody in
I don't
California.
remember where it was.
Google her name and all that shit gonna pop up. You don't have to subscribe.
So then on top of that, see, that also lets me know that
What is
she was out there
she laughing, but I'm keeping it 100.
she was trying to get that viewership up. See, and that's one of the things. You can't keep those type of things private, because if you're trying to get fans, you got to publicize that stuff.
I mean, she don't need to be a teacher no more anyway. She gonna get enough money from OnlyFans.
Well, at this point, yeah. But
and that's what I see. I think
different
that's
if
her
she was
whole.
a
I think
stripper?
that was her whole plan.
That probably was her whole plan. She probably was the one that was like, "Hey, yo, put me on the blog real quick so that
Because
they can,
everybody like a
make
sexy
it way
teacher.
bigger."
Everybody like a sexy teacher.
That doesn't
And
mean
then
she's
this is gonna
representing
go
herself as a
viral. And now I'm gonna
teacher.
get my
That was
my
smart.
followership is gonna go up 100 times. And now
She probably was proud of the kids.
Her IG only had like 1,700 followers, and now that shit done took off.
Boy,
That's
she-
fine. That's all
Would
that
Would
stuff
it
is
be
planned
the
out.
same? Would it be the same if she was a stripper? Would that be any different?
Strippers gotta eat
Strippers
too.
better.
Just a stripper.
So should she have lost her job if she was stripping on the weekends?
I technically don't give a crap
Yeah.
what she do at her home because the kids ain't watching it. So what's the problem?
No,
Well,
he is watching.
Family
Listen,
is watching it
no,
now.
listen. I am not gonna be able to concentrate if I've seen my teacher butt naked busting it open, and
You
then she
said
gonna try to teach me
kid.
some social studies. I'm not listening to that.
No, you said little kids. You didn't say nothing about middle school teenagers.
I
Now
had those
that's-
same thoughts when I was little. You think little kids don't have that? I mean, in the third grade,
Only
I was a perv in the third grade.
He said I was a
ain't got you ain't on OnlyFans.
You think people ain't? Oh, and then nowadays, and that's just me now. And now with the access to social media, man,
right.
Yeah, no,
can't
that's why
see that
people gotta
stuff
pay more
everywhere.
attention to their kids. But again, that's not her problem. Like her problem is trying to make ends meet. That's what she trying to do. She ain't putting.
she
no
made
kids
it. She
on
got
arm.
what she. But
Still
even let's say she was on the up and up. Let's say
don't-
she was on the up and up. Go be an Uber driver. There's other things that you can
She
do
did.
than expose
She had a
your body.
slew of side jobs. She
None of that
worked
is making
many
as much
she
money.
worked many legal, like totally legit side jobs trying to make ends meet. And so when this was presented to her, she was like, shit. Look.
That much money in a month.
Stop being a teacher then. Don't teach.
Well, and I guess professionally that's maybe where the
Let me ask you, hold on a
breakdown is.
second. Let me ask you, Nikki, let me ask you something. If your kid's teacher had an OnlyFans page, and then it's like, oh, mom, look at this. this Miss Johnson right here. You see that? You cool with that? You ain't got no problem with that. Now you know, like, and then they be talking like, man, you know what? I'm gonna try to bust a move on Miss Johnson. I think I might be able to pull that. This and this. That's the way boys are gonna think.
Well, boys are gonna think that way regardless.
Oh, they really gonna think like that after they see you.
I mean, of course they're going to. I mean, that's what we've learned. If we've learned nothing more, like
my teacher is a sex
it's
worker.
Gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
My teacher
regardless.
is a sex worker. How come I can't get her to have sex with me?
Because that's where you have the conversation with your child about what sex work is and why you can't have that conversation with her. That there's an appropriateness. This is where you could actually have a very good learning conversation with your children about sex in your body and how you feel and what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. You know, you've got these different dynamics. I mean, if
but
that
my question is, you're gonna be okay.
place,
You're gonna be okay with that. You're not gonna ask your child be transferred to another teacher over there. You're gonna be okay with the butt naked teacher teaching your kids.
I mean,
and then even when you go to pick her up, then you see the teacher and some little in a mini skirt and the stomach showing and all that. And then
I wouldn't think that she would be in that at school. I think she'd be like in her regular school clothes. I mean,
seen some of these teacher pictures.
I'm saying at
pictures?
school. I'm saying at school, she's gonna be dressed.
I mean,
at school, whatever.
You ain't
school.
seen some of these sexy teacher pictures at school.
Yeah, but they're doing that wearing mini skirts. They just have beautiful large butts, and so their skirts are getting shorter, or their dresses are But like, no, absolutely not. Like,
it was just a question. You ain't had no issue with it. Then okay, that's fine.
It's not that I don't have an issue with it. It's that I'm a fucking adult, and I realize that shit happens, and sometimes we got to do some. We do things that we do just because we got to make ends meet, and that doesn't mean it's a good thing, but it's a legal, viable way for her to make money. She has agreed to what happens if people that I know see me. So it's like if you go into the stripping world, there's probably going to be somebody who walks in here that you never fucking thought that you would see. This is what you agree to when you decide to display yourself like that. It's one of the fucking parts of the job. Is it the most appropriate thing? Not necessarily, because you don't want to have that dynamic between you and your children, your students and your parents. But at the same time, it's legal fucking work. It's legal
not trying to make
fucking work.
If you go to her IG page, this bitch is living above her means.
Well, she is. I bet she is now.
Well, I be saying,
she might be
yeah,
there.
And that's all. It was all for bait. But then I'm
all I gotta say is
speaking about it as if the story was on the level. I know how these people already operate. That was the whole plot in the first place.
All these Louis bags and red bottoms. It
was always like that. This was just a way to grab more followers.
I just you fired me from teaching kids.
But let me say this: there's certain. It's connected whether you want it to be. Mm-hmm. And some jobs, if you have two jobs, there's certain jobs that don't match together.
Right.
So yeah, you can be on OnlyFans all day and this and that, and you can be in school, you can be a manager at HEB. It's a whole lot of stuff that you can do. Teaching kids just ain't one of those things teaching kids and sex work is two things that don't mix.
I guess I just feel some type of way because I just feel some type of way because over the years of my profession, the 30 plus years that my dad has owned the business that we own and what we do for a living, we've had your teachers come through our doors. I can't tell you how many. I remember there was one day I was at the office and I was about to teach a class and this guy walked through the doors and he looks at me and I look at him and he's like, "This is what you do?" And I was like, "Yes, this is what you do." He was coming to my DWI class. He had gotten arrested, and I love what I do and I love doing what I do and I'm great at what the fuck I do. But it makes me not judge people the way that most people judge people, because I see people come to those doors who you would never know had an issue with drugs or alcohol, been arrested for drugs, been arrested for alcohol on their third DWI, got a blower in their car, and they're a fucking principal, and they're a coach, and they're a teacher at your kid's school, they're your kid's pastor, they're your kid's fucking piano teacher. Like, I've seen all of these people come through my doors, and everybody has a fucking story. And everybody, so things
I get what you're saying.
Things like that for me don't shake me the same way they might shake somebody else. Do I want my kids to see my teacher naked? No. But in this day and age of information, I can't stop my kids from seeing a motherfucking thing naked if they got a phone in their hand. So I'd rather combat that and maybe hit it ahead and be like, "Look, this shit ain't the conversation I wanted to have, but we're gonna have this conversation."
So you wouldn't put your kids in another class. Say, hey, they need to go to another class. She
was a STEM teacher. She was, like with accelerated students. That just because that don't make her bad at her job. Now, if my child was uncomfortable, I would absolutely 100% switch that energy up, because I don't want that to take place.
What if he's too comfortable?
Then we would have to fucking evaluate as the time went on. If that was
it's not even good or bad. It's just a distraction of it.
It's gonna be a distraction. Girls with spaghetti straps is a distraction. They say girls with hair is a distraction. They say girls that wear holes in their jeans is a distraction. They say boys with sweatpants is a distraction. Like, goddamn,
that ain't the same thing, Nikki.
If we stop sexualizing each other's bodies, then maybe we will be okay.
No, that is incorrect. That's not.
That's not incorrect.
That is. So you think if we you tell me, how do you think we can desexualize the human body to the point of we don't become sexually stimulated And
Well,
I
I
ain't
don't
even
think
got
I don't think that'll ever happen that'll never happen
okay.
because it's already planted. Like the sexualization of women's bodies
Okay,
in particular.
show me explain to me in a perfect world how that could happen. Let's make everybody just naked all the time, so it's nothing to there's nothing left to the imagination. Do you think that's gonna curve people's
It sure.
sexual attraction?
I mean, I don't see why. I don't see
Because I've
how
heard
it
this argument. I
couldn't.
don't know if you said
It
it. I heard
happens in a
Edward
lot of
say
other.
the
There's a lot
only
of other
reason
places.
it's a big issue is because we try to make it such a big. It's a big issue because we were created to be sexually attracted.
If I wasn't sexually attracted to her, why am I approaching her? I don't know her brain yet.
But that's how you think all the time?
If I approach
Yes, on the surface.
sexually,
Yes. You just not getting this? Hold on. Let me back up for a second, DK. Let's. So, Janae, do you think that when a man approaches you, their first thought is, I wonder
what size?
what type of mind she got. I wonder.
brain
I wonder.
Maybe. Maybe.
I know he don't think that because
I
if he
wonder
knows
how
I'd be
intelligent-
married by now. Dang, but I mean, do you think like that all the time? Is that like like
What? This is back to what DK said.
I mean,
what would provoke me to come towards you to even speak to you? I don't know you. I don't know your thoughts. I don't know your philosophies. I don't know your mind. You could be a genius or dumb as a bag of bricks. The only thing I have to go by is what I physically see with my eye.
Right.
And that's what draws me to you.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think like that. That's why I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah, that's how 99.9% of men.
So how do you approach, or what's your tactic? I'm curious.
Me?
You think?
I be making a lot of friends. I'll be talking to everybody. I don't be like, oh, she fine, or oh, she fine. Like I don't look at everybody like that's what I'm going to talk to you for. I look at you like, oh, we're going to be friends, and then if something else comes out of that, then okay. But I don't look at people like, oh, that person attracts me in a sexual way. Like I have to be attracted by your intellect or something more than just your physical.
Yeah, you're starting a friend zone tactic.
I guess that's what you want to call it, but it's an automatic. Like there is no, I can't just be automatically attracted to you.
That's fine.
More than
that's
physical.
fine. I really want you to know that is not the way men operate.
Thank you for telling me that.
That is not the way men operate.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak my truth. If I start with the friend zone tactic, I would get nowhere. No,
and even if you did for a man, it's still just a tactic. But that don't mean their initial agenda is not the same.
I don't know.
They just may go about it different ways.
Speak for all of them, but I just know how I am, and hopefully,
I'm mad.
So
there's no friend zoning me.
Yeah, so you can't.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
I mean, I'm that guy that I will open a car door for you. I'll open a restaurant door for you. But at the same time, we'll grab your ass. You can't.
You can't do that in 2022.
Green light. I mean, if you got the green light, you can.
It's all about Nikki.
Yeah.
It's all about the what?
It's all about the energy. Look here.
It's all about the energy. Period.
My female friends know where I stand at any given moment. Yes, there's no. The ones I want.
Stay out of this one. Stay out of this one.
Not attracted to.
There's no way that she's like your friend with benefits, or like she got to be something more. There ain't no way.
I don't have female friends. I have female opportunities.
Damn.
God.
Damn. This goes back to the conversation we had about
I got female friends. I got a lot of friends.
Hell yeah.
Opportunities?
No, I just got friends.
Okay.
Just
got it.
Damn, that's crazy.
That's mind blowing, sir.
That is mind blowing.
I don't believe I can be friends with the opposite sex.
Understood. I'm gonna look at all men like that from now on until they show me otherwise. But I'm not your female.
And that's not always the case. But you should look at all men until they show you otherwise. You should look at all of them like that.
I mean, Quentin.
That's the safest assumption.
He may think otherwise. I just don't.
I know, and that's true. And I'm saying, I'm still telling her she should
I'ma look at it
assume.
like that.
She should assume your
Man.
mindset more than she should mine. Usually, it's
Oh,
more likely.
Oh,
Yeah. If
And
you
then there's different
ain't
levels to
never
the
heard that.
spectrum. There's different levels
I've,
to the
I've, I've
spectrum.
heard it. Just the way he
That
put it was
was
just
no,
definitely no filter.
I mean, that
I
makes me
appreciate the fuck out of my platonic friendships with the men that I have platonic friendships with. Like
yes.
that's just hella valuable to me.
Nikki,
Yeah.
you know me like 7 years. Come on.
I know. That's why I'm fucking floored right now.
Y'all are not friends. You're just an
We're not
opportunity.
friends.
You are not a friend.
I guess not.
You're just-
I've learned this about a few people on the show before. I mean, you learn something new every day.
Wow.
You are an opportunity.
That is fucking hilarious. I don't know. That's interesting.
Wow.
Okay, everybody has an application. It's just if I'm hired. That's
My
pretty-
That's
God.
hiring. Oh my goodness.
So you, you.
See, now let me say something. No, let me say something. DK is probably just a little bit. He's more honest with himself.
Right,
Now, there's
right.
a lot of guys that I know. Oh no, that's just my friend. I'm like, dude, that's not just your friend. I'm looking at you. It's seeping out of your pores. If for a second she showed you some interest, you jump on her like she wasn't your friend in half a second. So there's a lot of people who lie to themselves and they try to tell people and they try to convince the whole world, including themselves, oh, yeah, it's just my friend. I'm looking at them like, no,
But
it's not.
You know what?
And everybody know it like, no, it's not just your friend.
They say that because that woman put them in the friend zone.
Exactly. Right, exactly. That's just where that, but
That's
that's
no. I need them energies. Come on. Whatever.
yeah, but that's he's being more honest with himself than a lot of people. I know a lot of people who lie to themselves on a
Yeah,
regular basis.
you can't be mad about knowing who you are.
And
I
when
mean,
they try to lie to me, I'm like, oh my God. And the worst thing is you don't even see it.
The women that in the friend zone, you don't see me around them at all. Period.
And that's what I respect. Like if I put you in a friend zone and you don't want to be around me because you don't be around me. Don't fake it for me. Don't pretend for me. And definitely don't you're like trying to pretend for a little while and then maybe I might. No.
Yeah.
If you see me with a woman, I am scheming on something. This is not. I'm not here to hear about your ex. I'm here to hear about your boyfriend. I'm here to hear about me.
Ooh, boy. I'm finna call my partners when we get off this show and tell them how much I appreciate them for having my back and not trying to fuck.
Like not even giving up. Yeah.
That's
Good. Yeah, I listen. I'm glad y'all know.
But the honesty is good because like
I've been trying to nicely tell y'all this for years and years. I don't think it'd be seeping in. Maybe I need to be more like DK. Just bluntly direct so they get it.
About men, so I'm getting there. I'm learning about them, but I'm taking what you say because
entertaining 24/7. I'm putting on this fake ass show 24/7 when I'm DJing. So I don't have time to fake shit.
Right.
Understood. I think we would all be happy if we thought that way.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it.
All right, we 15 after.
That's it. That's our show for tonight. It was interesting conversations about a lot of different things. I mean, and that's just what this is. It's just everybody's perspective. I appreciate that we could agree to disagree. I appreciate that we can all have totally different fucking opinions about things. And like, I know I got a lot to think about tonight. When I rewatch the show, I always hear things that I missed. And this gonna be an interesting show for what seemed like, maybe just a pretty simple conversation. So I appreciate you guys joining the conversation tonight, giving us your time. If y'all have any topic ideas for next week or weeks in advance, definitely shoot them our way. I know Q wants to get into talking about stuff on Black Mirror. So get into watching Black Mirror if you haven't started watching Black Mirror.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Got it.
Are you watching that one?
I done already watched it. I'm good.
Okay. So
which one? Which Black Mirror you watched?
We'll discuss that later. I'll be here. Go ahead.
Okay. You don't know which one we're gonna talk about. I want to know because maybe we might need to switch up one or two of them if there's certain ones that we want to talk about more than others.
What you mean out of the whole thing? Out of the whole?
We can't talk about. We're gonna talk about a specific episode each week for 4 weeks.
Okay. Well then, yeah, I didn't watch them.
All right. So get on your Black Mirror game, and then Q post the link to the 3 that you still want to talk about, like off rip. I know there was 3 episodes in particular that you wanted to talk about, and I don't think that you've posted them yet. So post those so people get a head start. Start watching them, myself included. I got to start watching them myself. And then we'll talk about some crazy shit in Black Mirror. And then, just wherever we go is where we go. Post your stuff to the page. DK, feel free to put your I know you got reverse happy hour tomorrow night. Right, at Spinners.
Yeah.
So make sure you post your stuff over on the Freethinkers page as well. Janae, I don't know if you're gonna start your podcast back up, but of course post over on Freethinkers.
Yeah, we post every Friday, so I did.
Okay. And that's it. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. Same time, same place. All right. Good night.
Bye.